Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Maria Jose Ramirez from Nuclio Digital School. Thanks for joining us, Andrea. She is a data scientist and data career coach. So thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for organizing this meeting. I'm super excited to talk about a subject that is very dear to me, and I'm sure that you are also going to enjoy it. So enjoy the show. We are going to have 45 minutes of presentation, and by the end of these 45 minutes, we are going to have 15 minutes Q&A. So stick to the presentation. We are also going to have some interesting assignments for you to take home, because I also want to have a practical application to this presentation. So with your go,
Yeah.
I will share my screen.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat or in the ask a question section. And this masterclass will be recorded in the same link, so you can access again to see the
Yes.
recording.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah, thank you to Nuclio Digital School for hosting this event. I'm super excited. So I hope you see my screen. The subject that I'm going to talk about is how to improve your visibility as a data scientist. So I'm a data scientist, and even though this is a topic that I am very interested in presenting to people interested in having data positions and roles, if it's not the case for you, you can still attend, because the tips and tricks that I'm going to give you to improve the visibility apply not only to data scientists, but actually to everyone. And let me start the presentation. Just to back up what I said, this class is going to be addressed to people who are either data scientists, who are working in data-related job positions, or who are students who want to learn more about how it is to work in a data environment and on the data market, people who are in professional reconversion, or people who want to improve the overall visibility on the market. And so one of the main questions that I have is, why do we want to improve our visibility on the market? We are focusing so much on the technical aspects of our hard skills. We are focusing so much to gain knowledge and to know how to get along in technical environments. But sometimes this is not the only possible way for us to be successful. Of course, the technical skills are very, very important. But if you do not have soft skills, if you don't have a visibility or a social media presence, sometimes it will be more difficult for you to have great job offers. So here I just brainstormed some of the ideas for which everyone should be concerned with having more visibility on the market. And I was thinking about this when discussing with a very dear friend, who told me, well, Andrea, you don't have a problem of hard skills. You are very competent at what you're doing, but maybe you can improve your marketing and self-branding skills. And so that's why I started working on this in this direction. And I think it's a great thing for you to also have in your arsenal, being able to contact the right people, to be contacted also by the right people. So you would like to have more visibility because you want to consolidate your professional image. So if you do not transmit the information that you know, people will not know about you, or will not know that you know that type of information. Having a great professional image is what can show proof also of the experience that you have. And of course, this comes to back up the idea that you want to improve your visibility because you want to have better chances of getting exposure to the right job opportunities. And not just in the moment of searching in urgency a new job opportunity, you should be doing that. You should be improving your visibility as a way of life, as a way of trying to develop your professional self into a great routine to have. Also, you would like to grow your network, because having visibility means you are going to search to connect with the right people. And so we have platforms such as LinkedIn that gives you this opportunity. And these platforms are not sometimes leveraged as they should be doing. So this is also something very important to keep in mind. Of course, demonstrate your expertise without any saying. For example, when you have a LinkedIn profile and when you are going to post regularly and show your expertise, you are also going to have more visibility. You are going to become the person to go to for your community for a particular topic that you are mastering. And that is great because it can start up conversations around the subject that you are passionate about. You can also have better negotiation leverages with the recruiters. So when we have a lot of followers or a community that backs us up, that's something very valuable in this digital era that we are living in. And Nuclio, who is hosting the show, thank you so much once again, is very well aware of this importance of having a digital presence. Also, you want to reach prospecting clients. So let's say you are working for freelance missions or activities. You might be interested in developing your visibility because this is how you are going to have more clients. So depending on your target audience, you are going to use different strategies, and these strategies come to build on top of your initial professional image that you have. So why am I interested in these topics and why am I sharing them with you? Because actually I am super passionate about the data domain, and I have been for a while now. And I consider that the data is the numeric code of our digital era. Without data, we cannot live. Without social media, it's difficult to find your way nowadays, and you need to adapt to changing times. And this adaptation also means that you actually need to be up and ready for new challenges. So having too much digital presence from your personal life is not okay in some of the cases, but having too little is also not okay, because actually people might wonder, well, what has this person been doing? So you really need to work on your professional image as much as you're working on your personal one. And so here, just an introduction about myself, because I didn't have the occasion to introduce myself. My name is Andrea Turcu. I am working in France. I am a customer-facing data scientist. I've been a data scientist for 6 years now. I'm also the president and co-organizer of the Lyon Data Science Association, Lyon being the city where I live, which is the first data science association in this particular region. And I also work in my spare time for freelance activities as a data science instructor and trainer for different bootcamps and schools. And in addition to that, well, I actually founded an entity called Grid Data. This is the logo, the violet one right here, which is responsible of giving B2C personalized career coaching. So I have clients whom I am assisting with personalized approaches in improving their own visibility, as well as B2B conferences on different things such as tools or concepts related to data, data democratization, tips and tricks, data literacy, etc. So I'm super passionate about that. I do data related stuff in my own spare time, and I'm super happy to be here in front of you presenting this interesting subject. The experience that I have is on about 6 years, a bit more. I started as a data scientist, a junior data scientist, and then I became a data scientist, a solution leader, and data manager for one of my previous companies. And I have worked for Data Robot as a data science trainer and instructor, as well as a data customer-facing data scientist. And last year, I officialized the idea of grid data, because I think everyone has the potential to use data into their own advantages. Okay, so the contents for today is going to be the following one. Well, we are going to talk about how to make an assessment. So this addresses to everyone, and you are going to have 4 assignment tasks that I would love for you to do after this presentation. Of course, the recording is available, the support presentations also in the video, so feel free to come back any point in time you are interested to complete these assignments. Also, don't hesitate once again to address questions in case you have any. I will go through them by the end of this presentation. The second topic that I'm going to talk about is about data roles in general. So this is more about people interested in data domain, and you are going to have a cheat sheet with what are the main skills in different data roles and how can you dissociate among them. And the last topic is going to be more of an advice on how to cultivate good social media habits. And here you are also going to have two tasks as an assignment, which I think are going to boost a bit more your current activity on LinkedIn. So let's go. Okay, so I always ask to my clients to make an assessment of themselves because sometimes you don't know what is the background of people, and sometimes those individuals don't know what they want to do, what they are capable of, because sometimes they are too modest to be able to assess their own skills, and they don't want to do it. So what I usually ask as a first conversation starter is to discuss about strengths and weaknesses. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you like to do? What you don't like to do? Because this is going to influence the way in which you are going to search your job and to what particular jobs you are going to apply for. It is a very, very important point, and unfortunately, we do not discuss about this enough. And this is related to the second idea that I have on this assessment. What is your career personality type? And the third one, discussion about assessment, is going to be about what is your desired position. So you see, I'm very focused on the individual at this point. Always, we should be focused on ourselves and our desires when wanting to start to work in a particular domain, because we are going to spend 1/3 of our lives working for that job, so we might as well enjoy it. So how can we enjoy it? Well, actually by making an introspection of ourselves and going for the right opportunities, not for the ones that we think we should be going for. So I hope that this point is clear here. I'm going to explain a bit more each point in part. So what are your strengths and weaknesses? On the right side, there is a list. Of course, it is not holistical. I have the resource from LinkedIn article that I found on this topic. And so here, mainly, you need to take some time to think about what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And it is important because that might be one of the recruiter questions that you might have. I have been recruiting for 2.5 years on data-related positions. I have been interviewing people for technical assessments. So actually, I know that this is an important point for individuals to learn about. You are definitely going to be confronted with some types of this kind, some questions of this kind. So here, once again, what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses? It's okay to have weaknesses. We all have them. The idea is sometimes to make sure that we use them in the right direction. So for example, here, if one of my weaknesses is public speaking, well, I might want to improve at that. If public speaking for me is important, as it was in my case, well, I will do an effort in actively searching for opportunities of speaking in public. And this was one of my weaknesses. I thought I'm not good in public speaking, so I started searching opportunities to to do presentations in front of large crowds, just because it was a challenge for me, and I hope I successfully overpassed it. So once again, when wanting to discuss about how to improve your visibility, well, you should be actually acquainted with what are your strengths and weaknesses, as well as what is your career personality type. So this is yet another aspect of the psychology, of job psychology, that people do not approach enough. Are you the kind of people who is a person who is artistic or social or an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? Do you like to investigate and go to the bottom of things? Are you realistic and you are very, very pragmatic? Do you like to organize? So these types are career personality types, and they are going to help you. Of course, you are not just one of them. You might be a sort of a mix of a couple of types, but they can direct you into a direction which is better suited for you. So if you are, for example, artistic or enterprising, you might not enjoy coding. So why go and force yourself to code and to become a developer if you are not of this career personality type? Will you be able to do it? Yeah. Will you be able to enjoy it? Maybe. We don't know. Just another idea to think about. Also, what is your desired position? So here I have some screenshots that I took from World Economic Forum that shows that what the job landscape is by 2024 or 25. And when you want to take a particular position, maybe one of the questions might also be, well, what is the job landscape? If I want to become a philosopher, will I be able to be excited about this in 30 years time, and maybe allow myself not to make a big salary or not? These are things that you should be actually thinking about. And so here, this is a great visual to have, because it shows the repartition between growing job demands and this decreasing job demands in data. So there are a lot of data positions who are very, very well known and appreciated, such as data analysts and data scientists, AI machine learning specialists, big data specialists, process automation specialists. And then there are others who are not as demanded or requested. It doesn't mean that you are not going to have a chance working for this, but actually it will be easier for you if you are going to answer to jobs that are highly researched on the market. So the second point would be, what is your desired position depending on your personality type? And once again, I haven't seen this approach, this psychological approach of deciding about a job very often, but I think it is very, very important, because this is why you need to avoid situations in which you are going to work for 5 or 10 years for a job that you don't like, and then you are going to have a breakdown, and maybe you are going to consider a career change if you are courageous and if the environment permits it. So let's avoid this, especially at the beginning of your career, and maybe some of these tips and tricks are going to help you in taking a decision that is going to be pleasant for you. So understanding 4 personality types, the director, the thinker, the socializer, the supporter, these are types that can help show you what your orientation is in terms of strengths and in terms of things and actions that you like to do. And that's why I presented them here just as an idea. There are a lot of types that can be presented. Well, actually, just try to understand which type would be the best suited for you. Also, depending on the hard and soft skills that you have available. So this making assessment is actually very important, because I have people who don't always find it easy to come up with a list of hard skills and soft skills. So hard skills are always more enterprise and practical approach type of situation, whereas soft skills are more related to your personality and to your own personality type. So depending on the hard and the soft skills that you have, you might actually be able to easier make a professional assessment. So here, this is the first assignment for the day. So please don't hesitate to do it after this video, after this presentation, this live presentation. Make a list of 15 hard skills and 15 soft skills. So just take a piece of paper and start writing 15 hard skills that come very, very fast in a random order in your mind on a piece of paper, and next to it write 15 soft skills. If you have never done it, well, maybe you might find it difficult to come up with 15. You might come up with 10 and just brainstorm a lot to come up with the rest of them. So this is a pretty introspective experiment, and I would encourage you to do it in case you are interested to see how you can improve your visibility. Then, so we ended the first chapter here. In case there are any questions, please don't hesitate to tell me. Otherwise, I'll move to the second chapter. So the second chapter is all about talking data roles. And so we come back to the job landscape that I presented to you earlier. And we see that actually by 2025, 97 million new jobs will emerge, and others will be displaced by a shift in the division of labor between humans and machines. So actually, there was a meme the other day that I saw. Machines are not going to replace us. People who control machines and program machines are going to do that. So there is a shift in the way people are working, and I think it's for the best, because the society could use a bit more automatization, and I think that's the right direction. So if you want to be part of this journey, well, you are already involuntarily part of this journey. So growing job demands, there are a lot of them. We are going to discuss about 6 of them, which is data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, machine learning engineer, data architect, and data and analytics manager. So we are going to discuss about them, but in case you already know what some of these jobs are, or you are already working in some of these jobs, or you have in mind to work on some of these jobs, please take the second assignment, which is take a look at the job roles and pick the one that you are the best fit for. So with respect to what I said earlier, career personality types, desire, hard and soft skills, as well as the other points that I presented, think about what would be your best fit to some of these jobs in case you are data savvy. And so now let's discuss about that. I just did a bit of a research to see what do people think the skills, the hard skills and soft skills are for these positions. And we start with the first one. So data analyst is an individual who has data visualization knowledge, who is able to have a critical thinking, who is able to query databases and do basic mathematics and statistics, as well as statistical programming on these databases. And the most importantly, an individual who is able to communicate. So in this data-related jobs, sometimes you have more communication, which is a position with less technology required, whereas in other positions you won't meet the clients or the customers, which will require for you to have skills that are a bit more developer related. So here, after having seen all this situation, we see that for a data analyst, it's great to have SQL knowledge, data visualization knowledge, statistics, a bit of a programming knowledge, as well as communication. And we are going to do this process for the other 5 roles. So data engineer, I came up with the idea that, well, data engineer is a great job to have, and the companies are actually searching for this job more than for some other data roles, because they want to have some order in their data structure. So knowing big data technologies or having knowledge about database design and architecture, machine learning and MLOps concepts to put machine learning in production are skills that are required for this particular position. Then for a data scientist, well, actually statistical programming, communication, applying mathematics, machine learning are skills that are required. And of course, the communication is also a very important part, because usually the data scientist is between the developer and the business. So the data scientist needs to understand both worlds. A machine learning engineer, well, has advanced mathematical and statistical knowledge, has knowledge of data modeling and evaluation, has a lot of programming knowledge applied to mathematics and statistics, as well as machine learning frameworks and libraries, usually performed with Python. Then data architect, well, that's yet another technical job who requires the data architect to have knowledge in data modeling and governance, reporting technologies, SQL development, as well as database administration. So these things that I'm presenting here are not holistical, and for some of the job descriptions who require some of these particular positions, you might have additional requests depending on how big the team is and how ambitious the projects in the companies that are looking for these people are. And data and analytics manager, it's a more of a soft skills related role where you are able to develop strategies based on some of the statistical knowledge that you have, and you are able to lead and manage data teams, and of course create beautiful reporting and visualizations who are going to help the business decide what actions to take based on the data. And that's why the communication is one of the most important things that you can have as a skill for this particular role. So here you have the cheat sheet that I promised you, and I wanted to add just a bit of a complexity with respect to having strong developer skills or not. So for data analysts and data and analytics managers, we don't require so much experience with programming and developing in statistical tools. Whereas for the other ones, data engineer, machine learning engineer, especially data architect and data scientist, well, you need to have an understanding of statistical programming. And so here you can take a look and see what are the main type of hard skills that I need in order to be able to work on those particular jobs. So you are going to overlap these particular skills in case you are interested in doing that. And you are going to see, well, what type of great fit I will be with respect to the hard skills that I have. So that's why I was thinking about this idea earlier on, and I was thinking of giving you a third assignment. Once again, no pressure. In case you want to do it, it will be great. It will help you. And so this assignment is about ordering the 15 hard skills that you have mentioned in the previous list in descending order of importance for the data role that you chose. So in case you have now a better understanding of the hard skills that you need for the data positions, well, you can take a look at the hard skills that you have created and actually try to see which ones are the ones that matter the most in order for you to be successful when applying for a particular job. So that would be the assignment for this part. And another assignment just for this last part would be find which hard skills are missing and start working on them. So obviously, you are not going to have knowledge of all the technologies in the world or all the strategies to apply with respect to particular IT systems and environments, which is totally fine, especially at the beginning when you don't have experience. Well, you cannot possibly know how the companies are working. And then it would be just an example for you to take into consideration in case that you want, for example, to work for this particular role. I want to be a data architect. I have some knowledge of data modeling and reporting technologies. I know some SQL, but I'm not very good at data governance and database administration. So maybe these ones are the points where I want to work further on. This way, you are going to keep your knowledge updated and you are going to impress your recruiters in case this is what you want to. And so here, just as an information, you can take certification courses, either online or on site. You can create projects and take practical assignments in order to improve your knowledge on this particular topic. Once again, don't hesitate to ask me if there are any questions. Otherwise, I will move on with the third chapter, which is called Cultivate Good Social Media Habits. So this is exactly the part that is going to address the title of this presentation, which is how to improve your visibility as a data scientist, or how to improve your visibility in general. Up to this point, it was the as a data scientist part. Now everyone is free to participate. So to improve the visibility as data scientist, you actually need to have good social media habits. That's why I put it in the title of this chapter. So in order to do that, my platform of preference is LinkedIn. For everything related to professional work, professional image, finding jobs, posting information, finding clients, this is the perfect platform for you. And this is the one that I am actually active on. And so the first thing for you to do would be to complete and enrich your LinkedIn profile. And you cannot say, well, my LinkedIn profile is 100% completed or 100% enriched. I stopped there 1 year ago. I don't have anything to add, because I will not trust you. I'll not believe you, actually. You can always work on that. You can always improve your LinkedIn. You can always change some description or optimize the keywords that you use in your profile in order to be found by people who have the same type of interests as you do. And so here I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way so that you feel more comfortable in showing your professional image. Then I'm going to discuss about the need of posting regularly, because as I said at the beginning, you cannot show to the people that you are there if you are not posting something, if you're not talking about stuff. You might have connected with a particular person on your LinkedIn, but maybe that was the entire interaction of your life, of your professional life with that individual. So the question here is, why not actually enrich the connection directly by contacting that person, maybe for particular reasons, professional opportunities, or indirectly through posting stuff that individual is going to see on the newsfeed. So if you want to cultivate good social media habits, you need to publish useful content for your target audience. And you might say, Andrea, well, I don't have a target audience. Well, you'd better start thinking about one, because it's obvious when you're working, you have someone that you can share that information that you're working on to, of course, if it's not confidential. But actually, there is always someone that is interested in what you're doing. And why not promote what you're doing? And why not showcase your interest in that particular domain or your experience? There is information that you hold which other people don't, and which would be very, very useful for other people. So that's why I'm thinking, well, there are a lot of people in this world. There is a market for everything, and there is a target audience for everything. So let's try to figure out what the target audience is for you and start publishing content that is going to give insights to that target audience that otherwise that target audience wouldn't have had. And then the last point that I wanted to expand on is expand your your network. And I'm referring to LinkedIn here also because LinkedIn has a lot of interesting functionalities that you can have access to in order to enrich your network. So be proactive in connecting with the right people and in connecting on the right groups so that you have access to a lot of members who are sharing the same passions as you do. So be part of the community and share what you are creating with the community in order to receive what the community wants to share with you. So that's a bit of a golden rule here, where information is richer when actually everyone contributes to the greater good, let's say. So here I'm starting to talk a bit about the key points and tips and tricks that I would like you to take out of this session. So when discussing about complete and enrich your LinkedIn profile, there are a couple of points that I'm focusing on. And even though these points might be obvious, my clients sometimes do not have them very well implemented in their brains when working on their profile. That's why I would like to revise them here with you, because I cannot repeat enough of the importance of this particular aspect. You can improve your visibility on LinkedIn if you actually have already a great LinkedIn profile. Otherwise, people who are going to see your posts and who are going to connect on your profile are going to see that your profile is not very well developed or very well explained. It's obscure. It doesn't have information. It might not seem real. So they are going to be uninterested in what you are going to continue posting, and that's a shame. Okay, so the first three ideas here would be: keep your profile basics updated, use keywords with intent, and don't neglect your profile picture. So the first thing that you would like to do is make sure that your LinkedIn profile is updated with the latest experience that you have, because the recruiters can actually filter information based on the latest experience that someone has or someone has updated on their profile. So why miss the opportunity of being found by the recruiters, or taking an opportunity, a professional opportunity, just because of this small detail? The second one is use keywords with intent. So using the right keywords is going to expose you to potential connection and opportunities which wouldn't have been there before. So LinkedIn, as YouTube and as Instagram and as any other media platforms, have an algorithm that is going to filter the profiles based on the job descriptions or some other information that contain or not particular keywords. So as you identified the skills, hard and soft, make sure that these skills appear in your job descriptions whenever possible. And don't neglect your profile pictures. So I see people who take pictures and selfies in a non-professional manner. And the problem with pictures in general is that pictures are a bit subjective. So either we want or not, at the first glance, in the first 3 seconds, we are going to have an impression of an individual just by looking at the photo. and without going through the profile. So why not try to optimize the way this photo looks and make it the most professional possible, meaning exclude avatar photos, selfies, blurry photos, underexposed or overexposed photos, uncensored photos, or crowded photos. These are going to negatively impact the image that you want to project to the world about yourself. And this is also a hint that I give for people who are interested in improving their CVs, not only the LinkedIn profile. And of course, I'm going to spam you with some additional aspects here. I don't want to take too much on it because we have just a couple of minutes, but just to revise them. It would be great to have a LinkedIn summary that is concise and clear with respect to your professional desires and your added value. It would be also great to have a clear professional title. So I wouldn't like to see someone having a profile like interested in, I don't even know, I'm spontaneously trying to find something. Interesting in controlling the world and more. So that wouldn't be a good title. So something that is job description related with your current job would be better. And don't use your LinkedIn just as a digital CV. So I have been doing that mistake also. For a couple of years, I just copy pasted from LinkedIn to my CV, and from my CV to LinkedIn the job descriptions and everything that I had, and they were practically similar. So LinkedIn acts like a booklet with multiple presentation cards that you can present to everyone. And the difference with the CV is that the CV is just one of these presentation cards. And so you need to give on LinkedIn a broader view of your entire experience, whereas in CV sometimes you are going to focus on only the last couple of experience, the most recent ones. So that would be something that I found very, very useful as tips. In case you have neglected some of these tips, you are more than free to revise them. Okay, let's go on the post regularly. So this is actually the main point that gave me more visibility on my LinkedIn profile. Because until now, I was just a contributor to all these LinkedIn profiles in the world. When I became a creator or someone who started posting regularly information about what I'm passionate about, in this case, how to get a job in the data domain, how to improve your LinkedIn profile, your CV profile, how to make job searches, how to prepare for technical interviews. This is the point where I started to actually bring value to my community and my followers. And so it went great because just by following this simple trick, post regularly, which I've been doing for a time now, I reached more than 6,000 followers, which is great, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction that I can bring some value to people and that those people are reacting to what I am transmitting. And so don't be passive on LinkedIn would be my greatest advice. Also, publish meaningful posts for your audience would be some other interesting advice to have. And don't hesitate doing that by, I have a mistake here, but don't hesitate to also create your own media. So whenever you have an idea, writing text is great, but actually try to be graphical, try to express your idea in a way that is more visible, because actually a photo is more than 1,000 words. So if you are able to explain your idea and also show a photo of what you have explained, then the people that are following you are going to stay more engaged. So here some additional tips would be to post at the right time, and I have been doing that, so I am aware of the fact that LinkedIn is a B2B platform, and so actually it is ideal to post just before the job, before starting a particular daily routine of individuals, during the lunch break, or between 5 to 6 p.m. after work. And I saw that this is the moment where my posts are going to have the biggest success. And so this is a sort of a tweak that you can also use if you want your post to be more successful in the first couple of hours, because it will the LinkedIn algorithm is going to pick it up, so it is going to share it with more people in case the first hours are the ones that are going to be very active in terms of interactions, reactions, and impressions. Structure your text is also something that I like to do, meaning I'm not writing a story without a beginning and an end. I am writing a text that is structured, that has a lot of space, bullet points, maybe some emojis, which is going to create a more interesting presentation. And also, don't forget, have a message to convey. And if you do not feel inspired at the beginning, no worries. It was also my case. But what I started seeing is that after I wrote on the first post, well, I had so many ideas about something tangential, something like just next to the idea that I have, that I started to write in a notebook some other ideas that came while I was writing the first post. So now, at the beginning, I didn't have any sort of idea of what to write next. And now I have like 3 or 4 more ideas to work on. So that's something that you can also do. And of course, every piece of content posted to the network should stay focused on the message you want to convey to your audience. It should be concise and clear. And lastly, let's talk for 2 or 3 minutes just before I wrap up. The idea of expanding your network. So what did you do? You enriched your LinkedIn profile, just to come back to the structure here. You started posting regularly topics that are of interest to you and to your target audience, and that showcase your experience and your added value to the subject. And then you are going to start expanding your network, because you want to grow, you want to reach more people. And so you are not going to spam people who are not interested in your context or content. You are going to try to attract the right target audience organically. So this is where I give some hints about how to do that. So what I like to do usually when I am connecting to new individuals is that I personalize the invitations. I never click connect, or at least I am never doing that right now. Before it was the case, but let's get serious. Who didn't do that? Like, I'm trying to not connect to the individual without sending them a message. And so if you're sending them a message, try to make it personal by adding some context to the invitation. Then get skills endorsements. That's a very important point, because LinkedIn endorsements can be very, very useful and important because they actually increase the likelihood of you being discovered by recruiters and opportunities related to the skills that you have. So if you're putting 45 or 50, I don't know how many skills there are on LinkedIn profile, and you don't have any endorsements or any individuals who said, yeah, Andrea is great at this particular skill, well, your skill is not going to be shown in the recruiter's preferences, for example, or in people who are searching you for particular interventions or opportunities. And so that's why it is important to make sure that you have these skills endorsed by, first of all, endorsing your colleagues, and then asking them, for example, to endorse you at their turn. Also, connect with people you know. So don't hesitate to connect with people you know. Also connect, for example, colleagues or friends of colleagues whom you know, or friends or family. These are the first people who are going to support and help you in your development of how to become more visible as a data scientist. Also, you can connect with strangers working in your field. So the goal here is to create meaningful connections with people who can help you grow professionally. And this is why I would recommend to ask for help from people who have more experience than you have with a particular subject or industry. It's always very useful to get an additional insight. And I have also been doing that for a long time. And join LinkedIn groups. So when you're joining a group, you have access to all the people in that particular group without needing to connect with them. So here you can actually post more about your information that you want to share. You can get additional insights from professionals with similar interests. You can learn more about people who work in the same industry as you. And of course, you can ask questions and have interesting conversations about topics that you want to learn about. That's all. And so there are two more assignments that you can actually take home here. The first one would be add the list with the top skills that you created in the first assignment to your LinkedIn profile if you haven't done that already, and request use 5 personalized messages, or request 5 personalized endorsements from your colleagues. And so this way, when adding a new skill, you are going to also be backed up for that particular skill from colleagues, previous colleagues, friends who know also what you are working on. And so this assignment is a very practical one. You only need to take it and write down and actually connect with people using personalized messages. Also, the last assignment for the day, I promise, is make a post about a particular subject which can positively impact your audience, and tag 5 persons from your network who might be interested in learning more about that particular message. And I guarantee you are going to easily find those individuals because you know them, or you heard about their experience with the same type of situation you have been working on. So it is going to be uncomfortable at the beginning if you have never tagged people for this particular purpose, but this is a great way in which you can expand your visibility, because now you are screaming to the world that you are working on subjects of interest to some people. And so this is why you might have a greater chance of success in improving your visibility as a data scientist or otherwise. Also, thank you so much for your attention and presentation. The presentation that I have been doing is very dear to me. So in case you want to learn more about this domain, don't hesitate to contact me. I give personalized career coaching on topmate.io/Andrea Turcu. You can also find more posts about what to do on LinkedIn. And you can also, of course, see the code here so that you can connect on to learn more about this. In particular, thank you, Nuclio Digital School, for allowing me to meet one.
Thank you very much, Andrea. We have here a question in the section. How often do you recommend us to post in LinkedIn?
Great. There is a reverse. You can stop your please. Okay. So actually, can you
Yes.
stop your
Oh,
yeah, sorry. Just to give information about that. So you wouldn't want to post too often, because sometimes this will annoy everyone. and even people who are part of your network who are not interested in what you're posting, that's for sure. But you wouldn't want to post uh, not very frequently also, just because you need to keep people updated and create materials for them. So what I like to do is to post twice per week, and I reserve for this like a half an hour time during the day, or 1 hour time to post two posts directly, and this works for me very well. I get a lot of engagement. I have on average around 150 impressions for it, and I see that depending on the time when I'm posting, actually I have more reactions. So I'm trying to adjust my posting so that more people can see my my posts. I hope
Great, thank you.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
also post like once per week if you want to, but I wouldn't advise for once every 2 or 3 weeks, because you want to keep your people engaged, your target audience engaged.
great. And we have another one. We need to upload just original content, or it's okay to share content?
That's a great question. So it is definitely okay to share content as long as you add your own opinion on it, or you add additional information on top of it. So it's normal not always to have original content. Who is original in this day anymore? Like Da Vinci was the last one, I suppose, right? So the idea here would be to maybe find an interesting topic to talk about, add some of your interesting points, add additional data sources if you have, and of course you can describe something that you read about in a way that is meaningful to you and that can bring value for your target audience once again.
Great, thank you. And we have another one. Can you give a panel of salaries that we may ask for different profiles, data scientist, analyst, or engineer?
That's a great question. It depends on the region where you are working in, as well as the amount of experience that you have, like the number of experience, of years of experience. I am a bit more acquainted with salary ranges in France than in other parts of Europe or the world. And I can give just an idea for data engineer, for example. There are salaries that can begin at 40,000 euros up to 45 or more for a data engineer. So this is the estimated range, the minimum salary that people might ask. But once again, it depends of your years of experience, the region where you are applying to, as well as companies. Is this a startup? Is this a big company? Is it originally from the country you're living in, or is it from United States? Because, for example, if it is from United States, you might actually be able to double or triple that salary. But do you comply to the sponsorship visa, for example? So all sorts of things to take into consideration. You can also consult Glassdoor. This is a great place to see salary ranges based on particular regions and titles. LinkedIn also has this functionality. There are some other sources, but these ones are the main ones because they have a big database that they can work with.